Okay, cool, man. So first things first, right? From 0 to how much cash have you collected so far?
This month, 10K.
This month, 10K collected.
Precisely.
Okay, and in total, since we began, how much collected?
15K.
15K collected since we began. Do you remember how long have we been working together? About 2 months, 2 months and a half?
Sounds about right.
Like 2 months, no?
Exactly.
Okay, 15K in 2 months. Damn, that's pretty legit, man. Not gonna lie. Those are some solid numbers. So um let's go over the number of conversations. I want to reverse engineer the whole process, right? So of course, there's your content, then your cold outreach, which is the DMs, lead generation, which can come from the 2 steps. We can review your numbers on that. I know that you ran 1 2 step. Booked calls, then how many of those actually showed, how many of those were no shows, if you have a ballpark number, and yeah, just the totality of the deals that you collected. But you're telling me that it's 15K total since we began 2 months ago, right? So let's go back to the first thing, right? So the conversations. Do you have a ballpark number of how many conversations you were starting every day or every week? Like what does that look like for you at the moment?
So on the online program, you also had like a workflow module. So that was like you had a benchmark of 20 conversations that you start every day, but I could never get to 20 because just the lack of consistency in me. So I was trying to start at least 10 to 15 new conversations, cold DM outreach using the playbook that you created and starting like that, just starting 15 new conversations in the DMs every day.
Okay,
So
these 15 new conversations that you're starting every day, where do these 15 people come from?
So these 15 people come from people that are looking to monetize, of course. I ran through their bio and their content and what they were looking for. And I believe that I had an offer that could help them with monetizing their personal brand, right? Because that is essentially, what you do as well. So I reached out to people that were on the same vertical of trying to reach financial independence, location and time like freedom, right? So I was looking at people that I wanted to work with and I could help and just sending cool DMs like that.
Okay, gotcha. And the cold DMs, you're saying you're following the DM script that I
Yes.
gave you. Like you're just following that and you're just being consistent at uh starting 10 to 15 new conversations every single day. Like that's basically what you're running through.
So even before, like, I was I was very driven, right? Because I had made that big commitment. I want to make that 10K as fast as possible. So what I actually did was reverse engineer what we went through. Like the DM that you sent me was sort of different from the script, but I liked how it worked because it worked for me, right? So I was just switching out my name from the DM that you sent me and going it through like the conversation that, pitching like a pitch free call just so I can give them personalized advice like the DM that you sent me, right? So I was using that framework actually initially for like the first 30 or so DMs. And then I dug into, the personalized openers and then the Sigma DM playbook and the rest of the conversations was just, testing out which works from all those options.
Damn, that's awesome. Okay. So what I like with you, man, is that you just went straight into the DMs, which that's what I was doing most of 2022. Honestly, yeah, most of the money that I made on 2022 was just focusing on the DMs. That's how I created the DM framework. That's when I really dug deep into the human psychology behind someone wanting to book a call with you. And because the call needs to be framed as a win-win scenario, right? Nobody's going to hop on a call if they feel like they're going to get sold or they're going to be just speaking to a robot. that wants to get money from them. Like it's just a weird vibe, right? Even if they want to buy, even if they're interested in the offer, it's just not a good vibe. And that's what I think, right? But if the call is framed as a win-win, like damn, I'm gonna be hopping on this call, I'm gonna have this epic conversation with Jayden. And yeah, like I am looking forward to solving my pain, and I know that I am gonna have to invest, but first, like let me talk with him. If it's framed like that on the DMs, then it's very easy to get book calls, right? So my point is that what I really like about you, bro, is that you just dove deep into the DMs. You were closing clients even before you did your first two-step, even before you wrote your sales letter, and even before all of that, right?
Exactly. And that confidence only came because I knew that I have someone in my back that who knows what he's doing, right? I got you, Andreas, like on the call that we had, like you said, you were essentially part of my team, and that sort of clicked. Like, oh right, it's not just me trying to do like hit my head on the ground trying to make this work. It's actually doing it with you, which is essentially, the part of the whole coaching program. So having that mindset really gave me the boost and confidence to go in almost blindly. Like you might think that that's sort of stupid, but just blind implementation of things that work. And that's what you preach. Like you're only giving your clients what works for you in getting like 20K, I don't know how much per month. And I just need to follow what you did. And that's essentially what I did. Yeah.
Of course. Absolutely, man. Dude, a lot of people are alone, right? Not to go on a separate rant, but dude, people are alone, right? When they begin a business, it's an online business, right? So you have no work environment, you have no co-workers, no boss, no nothing. Fuck bosses, by the way. But dude, like most people feel alone. They're lone wolves, right? Which can get difficult. But if you're with someone, if you feel like you're part of a community, even if it's just one-on-one, right? Like you and I right now, just if you feel like you're not doing it alone and you can share your wins, you can share your losses as well, your struggles, etc. And you have someone on your corner, someone that has your back, just makes everything way easier, right? So and you understood that very well. And that's where you got the conviction to actually close on the calls, man. So that's fucking amazing. With that being said, okay, so 10 to 15 conversations every day, that metric is super important. For everyone that is watching this, like that, focus on that, okay? 10 to 15 new conversations. This is 10 to 15 new people, correct? Or are you talking about follow-ups?
New conversations, and then of course follow-ups after.
Of course. Yeah, because the money is made on the follow-up as well. So 10 to 15 new people, regardless of the follow-ups, and then the follow-ups are infinite, right? Or how many follow-ups were you sending per day or per week? Do you have that number?
So I was actually kind of lazy on the follow-up part, I gotta be honest. But I still try to, the ones that are active, like if they've posted in the last 12 hours or within the last 2 days, they're still a live account, right? Then those accounts I would add one of the messages from the follow-up playbook. And if they're just totally dead, like their last active post was from last year, then I would just call it a dead lead and move on.
Okay, gotcha, man. So, okay, how many calls? No, that I want to be clear on the time frame, right? So has it been 2 months since we began? Let me actually check, bro. When did you join? Want to get the exact date. You joined on, was it March?
End of March.
Do you have the exact date? I can check here on the Stripe.
I think it's April, the first week of April, is it?
First week of April. Let me check. Jayden. Where is this? Okay. Jayden. Where are you, bro? Is your email E910 Productions?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah, April 7th. So 2 months and a half, right? 2 months and 20 days. So Do you have an average of I remember on your first couple weeks you booked 7 calls, right? But like can you guide me through like how many calls you're you're booking right now? Like how many calls you were booking since you began 2 months and a half ago? And like what's the average booked calls that you get per week right now?
So I, well, I got to be honest, in the beginning, I got those initial 7 calls, and those are the first ever 7 calls I've ever did in my life, right? So not panning out in the way I wanted was kind of demotivating, I guess. So like I kind of slacked off on, doing the cold DMs and trying to get more calls. So there was a little dip. But the total number of calls I did until today, which is May and end of May, is 56 calls. So that's the number I pulled
Damn,
from
bro.
my calendar, right?
Yes.
When
56 calls.
Yes, sir. Yes, 56
Dude,
calls.
okay. Yeah, okay. A lot of people are gonna listen to this and like it's not gonna click, but 56 calls, like listen to this. 56 calls led to 15K cash collected, correct?
Exactly.
Now,
Mhm.
those 56 calls, did all of them show up to the call?
No, there were definitely no shows. Right now, I have 7 no shows. So
So you
approximately,
you got on 49 calls. We're talking about
yes,
49 calls total in a period of 2 months and a half, correct?
right, correct.
Starting from scratch, you're saying that your first 7 calls 2 months and a half ago, those are your first 7 calls ever in your life
Hmm.
selling your offer, correct? Selling anything online, right?
Right.
From my understanding. Okay. So starting from scratch, damn, dude, this is fucking solid, bro. How you get good at sales and how you get really good at collecting thousands of dollars on a Zoom call with a stranger online is by doing it, right? Like there's only so much theory that you can learn and understand about frame, about tonality, the script that you're using, letting them talk, the questions that you ask, the timing, etc. Right? Like there's only so much that you can understand, and then you're like, okay, I get it. I understand it. You can practice it. You can role play, etc. But then you actually have to get on the call, right? That's how I got my reps as well. That's how I got my talent is through doing it. Like, dude, I was getting on a bunch of calls. I've told you, right? Like I just got on calls like all the time. I didn't give a fuck. I didn't care. I just got on the calls. I didn't care if I was closing. I didn't care if I was collecting. I didn't care if I was getting deposits. I didn't care if I was getting paid in fulls. I just kept on doing it because the character that I was building was what was important to me. Like just through those reps, you find yourself, you find your own voice, and you understand the motivation behind someone actually buying something and the motivation behind someone buying you. Because at the end of the day, in this business model, and really every business is the same. People that say it's not, I don't know what they're seeing, but the offer is important, but the man behind the offer is even more important. Okay.
Mm.
And that's what we're doing. So, anyways, dude, I want to go back to those 49 calls. So, dude, 49 calls, that's fucking legit, man. You're making me so proud. This is fucking beautiful, man. I love to hear this. So 49 calls. Now, these 49 calls guide me through your process of how you got 49 calls. Was it doing what you mentioned before of just messaging 10 to 15 new people every day and following up with them? Or what did you do? Where did these 49 calls come from?
So that is also something I haven't reviewed fully in depth, but what I can say is definitely like when I went through the online program that you set up, right? That's the only data I have. I noticed you're using different platforms, but like you said, you're generating all this profit from the DMs because you're being an authentic human being trying to help others, and that speaks and resonates with people. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, there's no tips and tricks. You're just getting in the DMs and connecting with them. But it's just I didn't have a solid framework or a script of going about it. But when you provided that, it was exactly plug and play. So that just made conversing in the DM super easy. And the objective, like you explained, is not even to explain my program or sell anything. It's just to get on the calls. So that little bit of information gave me so much clarity. Okay, like there's no pressure in the DMs because all I need to do is get them on a call with me, and that's where the magic happens. So when that clicked, the DMs was just, exactly like that, plug and play. Okay, they're responding this way, which Andrea said they would, and they're totally doing that, which is absolutely magic. So I just do the DMs cold outreach and do the follow-ups and get on the calls. So I think that's how, and especially because my core values and messaging aligned with the offer, right? So people know that I'm like coming from the heart, like I believe in this. So when they talk with me, they realize like I'm not BSing or anything like that. It's something I believe in. So I think that's what made it much more, I guess, efficient and fluid into getting them on the calls, right? Because, like you said, it's a win-win for them if they get personalized advice and vice versa. So, yeah.
Correct. Okay, damn man. Dude, there's so much to unpack here, but I actually wanna keep this one light. I really wanted to ask you, like, what had happened before you got the cash collected, because a lot of people talk about closing the clients and how much money they collect, which is fucking beautiful for you as well. I mean, from 0 to 10K a month in 2.5 months, basically. That's you, bro. Dude, I want you to realize that this is like, bro, it's big. Okay. Like what you're doing is no joke, man. Like it takes fucking balls, it takes conviction and a lot of focus. Okay.
Mm.
To go through 49 calls, like it's a warrior's game. You know what I mean? Like talking to 49 people on a phone call. Dude, one thing I want to ask you as well is, do you have any idea of how many hours you're dedicating to the business every day, sending DMs, doing your content, etc.? Like roughly how many hours are you dedicating to this? You can be honest.
I, well, that's a very good question because I wasn't timing myself because this was something I wanted to do very fast, as fast as possible, right?
Yeah.
And I do have other responsibilities and, just I call this the online life, right? And if I just say like the offline life, like I do have other responsibilities and stuff. So other than that, I just was so focused. Like some of the calls were like 2 hours. And just because I'm not like that fluent or good in those calls, right? I wasn't in the top shape, but like some of those calls would take 2 to 3 hours, but I still get on those calls because that's the bread and butter of the business. Like you preach, like you get on calls and you close calls, and that's what makes you 10K per month. So knowing that and knowing that I was that close to collecting 10K per month, it was just blind implementation, I guess, to reach where I am at right now. So I wish I had a number for how many hours I put in each day, but after the DMs and getting on calls, if we say a call is 1 hour, because I always went for the one call close, right? So they tend to be a little longer, following the closing call script that
Mhm.
you have. They were like hour and an hour and a half. I would get on 2 to 3 calls a day sometimes. And at the most, I think I went on 5 calls one day and just repeat. Yeah.
This is beautiful. I love hearing. So yeah, and that's a great answer as well. I mean, yeah, it's hard to know how many hours exactly you're putting in every day, but I love that you're saying that. Yeah, this is your online life, the online business, but you're also doing things outside of it, right? You have a personal life, you have an offline life, you have other things to do. You know what I mean? So the business should not consume you. Okay, that's yeah. I don't know. I don't vibe with that type of business. At least not right now. I like my business to be a complement to my life, just another thing that I do, and an arena where I build my character, where I build my bank account, where I build my skills. But it's just that, you know what I mean? I still have a personal life and I still do other things outside of the business. So anyways, man, this is fucking solid. Let me I think we have all your numbers now. Yeah, is there anything else you would like to share with anyone who is still either at zero or below 10K a month, and anyone struggling in the 0 to 2K range, or like someone that is still not getting the 49 calls that you got on and not collecting the 10K in a month, which you did this month? Like, what piece of advice would you give to that person?
So I think one of the most important lessons I learned was everything that you teach and you set up is very simple, but battle testing that in real life, you actually implementing in your business in real life, that's the hard part. Now, other people make both parts complicated, but you come in and make, setting up the business very simple and lean, and but still getting out there in the real world, getting in calls, building your character and gaining the confidence to, put your offer out there. That's still hard work and you got to do it, right? So for the amount of calls I went on, there were wins, like they were on board, but there were people that just didn't have the cash, right? So for like 6 of those calls, I totally won them, but they didn't have the cash or were in such a bad situation that I couldn't get them on the program. So those also, those things happen, like things happen. And I wish I could say, as soon as I got on the calls, that was a close in there, boom, 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 15K per month. But it's a journey of like, you never know what you're going to get on the calls. Like they might not even show up like the 7 times, which is very demotivating. And, it can put you down, but the mindset that you taught, right? It's an infinite game and there's abundance. And that's what we strive towards. And I just focused on that, and it helped me to get on the next call and get on the next call, no matter the outcome, right? Deep down, like I'm still greedy. Like I have my ego. I want to win, I want to collect the cash right then and there, but things happen. It's the real world and you got to get better each time, get better 1% every day. So if anyone watching is still struggling, like you got on 5 calls, you got on 10 calls, but you're still not seeing results, you never know which call you're going to get that first 4 figures. Like it could be the next call right then and there. So just that mindset of it's an infinite game and there's abundance, and it's just a matter of you not giving up. So if you keep doing what moves the needle forward, what Andreas tells you to do, then you're gonna make it.
Beautiful words, bro. Beautiful golden nuggets. Whoever is watching, dude, this is fucking epic. I wish that I could listen to what you're saying when I started, I was super fucking blind. Like I didn't even understand what an offer was. I didn't even understand that I needed to get on calls. I didn't understand anything, right? So just listening to someone like you're the perfect example, man. I love getting on these calls with you, bro, because for such a short time frame, and you began with 0, bro. You began with almost no followers, 500 followers, 0 cash, almost. And bro, like no experience with the calls, no nothing, right? So this is truly beautiful. Like this is artistic, and this is why I love what I do, because it's beautiful. It's like a painting, right? It's like a painting from Da Vinci or whoever, right? It's a beautiful representation of what the human brain and the human fire can do. I was gonna tweet this earlier, which is that, dude, no mentorship, no business program, no system, no hack is gonna help you if the inner fire is not there. And you're the perfect representation of that inner fire. Okay, you have that inner fire. That's why you keep going. That's why you still want more. And that's why you accomplish what you did, because you have that inner fire, right? So I come in and it's just that I ignite that inner fire even more. And I just give it direction with the right system. And that's how this happens. So, dude, thank you for sharing all of this. We're going to end it right now. And yeah, man, excited to see your next big wins. Excited to see you crush it. This is just the beginning. You're making good money, but you're gonna make even more. So yeah, man. Thank you, brother.